What's happening, guys? Scott from A Hornet's Nest. Welcome back to episode 18 of Tutorial Tuesday. It is so good to see you. And today's episode, we have something a little bit different. No real tutorial today, but more of just a catch up, a sim update, chat about where the channel's going and what's coming up in the near future. And I just received delivery of a McMaster's parcel, and we need to go unpack that and put it into its storage because there are just over 7,900 individual parts in this cockpit. And the moment you let your storage and organization go by the wayside, it is going to be a nightmare to try catch that back up. So the moment you get a parcel delivery, you got to store it and organize it properly. So let's get into it. The biggest sim update that you're probably seeing now is one, the sim is looking fairly compiled, but two, it is in a new room. You haven't seen this room before. You've seen the studio where I do all the fusion tutorials and the soldering and the model building. You've seen downstairs where we've done the Wagner spray tent and the actual construction of it. Please don't ask me how much of a mission it was to get this stuff up here. I needed the entire family's support to get all these pieces up. They are quite heavy, but they do fit through standard doors, so that is a plus. So if you are building yours outside of the sim room like I was, don't stress, because you will be able to actually move it around the house. Well, this room that you're seeing here is the sim room. It used to be a spare bedroom. That got vetoed the moment the sim was getting built because the nights are getting cooler, they're getting wetter, and I don't want my MDF parts sitting out in the elements, warping and getting moisture in them. Just having them in the house is more than enough to keep the MDF nice and safe. Well, the big update you're seeing here as well is the sim is getting put together. We've got our left and right side consoles all completed in the structural sense. The center tub is done. That was last episode. If you haven't watched that, that was a really cool episode on just how to use the Wagner spray system, how to dilute paint and know when to dilute it. And then we've gone and done the lower instrument panel off camera. And you're probably asking yourself, Scott, where was that video? I've been here the whole time and we did not see you once build that lower instrument panel. Well, the reason for that is it is just a boring video. I can tell you now, it was a boring build. It wasn't exciting at all because you know how to cut it, you know how to sand it, you know how to paint, and you know how to assemble. So there was nothing really new I could teach you with that, and it would have just been a waste of a fortnight. But I can tell you, we have some really cool, exciting videos coming up to do with the lower instrument panel, including adjustable rudder pedals. And it's where our channel sponsor comes in. If you haven't heard of them before and you haven't watched these videos, PCBWay is incredible. They are helping me build the upper face plate here for the center pedestal. And they're going to be helping me make a couple of cool things, but I'm not going to spoil them for this general area that are just going to feel incredible, especially if you've left the sim overnight and the first time you touch that component, it's going to feel cold. That's the only hint that I am giving you. So that's very cool. If you haven't seen the other work from PCBWay, go check out their website, PCBWay.com, for all your circuit board, CNC, 3D printing, and milling and laser cutting needs. Anything that I can't do here, they do it for me. And that is just how good they are, and their service is wonderful. So go check them out. Next update is upper instrument panel here. Looks a bit shonky, but it's gonna get work done. I can't wait for that. And then the seat is just off camera. It's one of those builds that I'm just gonna show you cool aspects of it, like building the ejection handle or building the arming handles and switches. You know how to put the stuff together. There's no point in me showing you how to do it every time, because the videos will just get boring. That kind of leads me onto where a Hornet's Nest is going. In the near future, kind of starting towards the end of May, life for me outside of the cockpit world is going to get real busy. So I'm going to have to scale the videos back. As much as I love making fortnightly videos for you, and it has been the greatest privilege to actually bring you along this journey with mine and to realize that you actually care enough to watch, I'm going to have to push them back to about one every month, just for a couple of months. And around August, we should be back to the fortnightly videos, because I'd rather spend time with quality videos instead of punching them out to get the consistency and the quantity. But that leads me to saying it, and I don't want to say it, and I haven't said it at all during this channel, but like, subscribe, and hit the bell button because that way, if I do post an ad hoc video or just a little short or just a post, you're going to get that notification straight away and it helps the channel out. So that's the only time you're going to hear me say it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that stuff that all the other YouTubers tell you to do. Otherwise, yeah. The next update for where we're going, somebody actually messaged asking, what are you going to do when this is finished? And I'm like, well, if anyone building their cockpit is like me, you're probably going to have the post-project blues. And this has been a massive part of my life since really COVID. Like I started season 1 doing those little time-lapse tutorials, 2021, I think it was. December 2020 was where I dropped that trailer, which was a real power move if you ask me. Like imagine making a trailer for a YouTube channel that has no subscribers. So yeah, that was pretty funny. What am I gonna do? I'm probably gonna build another sim, but as you can see here, I barely have enough room in this room for the sim. And it's probably gonna revert me to using VR until I can get a bigger room to put the projectors around. So the only viable solution is to go buy a new house. That's probably what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get a house that's bigger to allow more sims because that's what the channel needs. So yeah, more sims are gonna come and I wanna do some really cool project-based videos like theme-based as well. Episode 1 and 2 was the F5 and that was such a fun video to make and such a cool piece of equipment that myself and my mate use, and we use it when we fly the F5 all the time. So I want to make some more of those. I want to maybe expand into the right side of the F5, but I know the CH-47's coming up and the Kiowa's coming out. So I might do some of that. So I think there's some really cool project-based, non-sim related videos as well coming up. So that's pretty cool. But that's enough talking. That's enough of the sim update. You're now kind of up to date of where I am. We're going to be busy for a while. It's an absolute pleasure and a privilege to make videos for you, and I don't want to jeopardize that quality just to punch out a timeline because you deserve more than that and the channel deserves more than that. So be patient. Towards August, September, we're going to be back on our fortnightly schedule. But in the meantime, let's get across to the study. Let's go have a look at that McMaster box. I'll show you my storage and then we'll wrap it up and then you can go enjoy the rest of your week. Alrighty, here we are ready to go. We haven't been here in a very, very long time. I kind of remember the last episode that we were once here, but let's get into it because when we're at this table, things are getting built. This is where we're at our best. So let's get into it. Let's move this out the way. This here is for another project coming up, but it is a OEM, which is original equipment manufacturer, Airbus MCDU. So that's pretty cool. Can't wait to build that, but let's get that out the way. Let's get our box unpacked. And as always, it never fails when you get a McMaster delivery. You just get bags of everything. So all we've got to do really is get it on the desk. Catch all the bits that have fallen on the floor, and then we can get into making it. Now, if anyone here has dealt with McMaster, you know that they will package a single item in the world's biggest bag. And I'm pretty sure I just saw one just before. Here it is. Nice big Ziploc bag for a single piece of aluminium. So yeah, enjoy the rubbish that's going to be created from this. It's not very eco-friendly, but look, it is organized. So how do I go and sort this? Because this is an absolute nightmare to have to deal with. You don't want Ziploc bags floating around your workstation because they're just annoying. But I'll show you what I've got. It's a little bit heavy. Let's see if I can get it up here. It is one of these. That should sit nicely in focus. So this here was bought from Kmart. I'm not sure what you would have as an equivalent internationally, but Kmart sells these. They are not Lego branded, but they're in the Lego section of your toy stores. And they're really just building block organizers. You've got a couple of thin trays with divider slots, and then you've got a couple of wider trays or double spaced, and they're for your big objects. Like you can see here, my first McMaster order delivery had these vibration clamps. They fit perfectly in there. And then I've just got a Dynamo label maker and I've gone and labeled them. So we've got from starting at number 5 all the way through to 90252. And I've got another 3 of these and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go buy another one. I think they fit 39 trays in each. So call it 40. We're already at 160 different pieces of hardware and we're probably gonna have to go a 5th even, I'm not too sure. But the nice thing about these is they're stackable. They've got slot marks up here and here, so they can all slot in. And then on the back, we've got keyholes as well. So they can be wall mounted. So essentially, that's the storage solution. I'm gonna pop a picture up now of what my linen cupboard storage looks like. It was a linen cupboard. It's not a linen cupboard anymore. It's now a tool area, but it's got more of your tackle box style storage solutions. The reason I like these for the McMaster parts is because I can just see it and you learn where everything roughly is and you remember, oh, that threaded insert was next to these, I'll look for that. The tackle box solution works well and I use that for push buttons and switches and Arduino boards, stuff that is like deep storage. If I need it, I'm only getting it once, not I'm building almost like live version building here, static version building in the linen cupboard. I'll go to this every single time I'm building on the cockpit, whereas I'm only going to go to those tackle boxes once when I'm actually needing an Arduino board or I need to go a DC jack connector, something like that. So let's get packing. Some of the stuff isn't going to fit into the boxes, of course, like this yellow tubing, which I'm pretty sure is for the ejection seat. This can just sit down there until we're ready to use it. But in the meantime, let's get building. All of this, besides the different McMaster orders, all of this is for the ejection seat. You can already see we've got wheels, we've got bearings, standoffs, the lot. So I'm gonna start packing these, but that's about it for today. Just a real quick tutorial to show you where we are, what we're up to, what is up and coming for a Hornet's Nest, and then also how to deal with all of this mess and get it into some sort of storage. So as always, go enjoy your week ahead. Go enjoy your flight simming. Enjoy the process that this is, as daunting as it is. It is an absolute ton of fun. It's an absolute pleasure making these videos for you and I will see you in the next episode.